it's a triple play. New episodes, I couldn't wait. Yeah, open your mind at the first gate. Press play, no need to debate. AoA, check me out. Look, plugged in, you can catch the hype. Golden Dawn, how we follow the light. Anime like life, married to it, my wife.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages? Welcome back to the AoA show. I'm your host, as always, Ian, along with my boys Isaiah.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Gavin.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yo.
You just stole my intro? You know the yos are my thing, Gavin. What is wrong with you? Why would you do that?
The yos are his thing.
Fucking unprofessional.
Anyway, folks, we're here today to discuss The God of High School, Episode 3. This one was called Wisdom/Kingdom. Wild shit, dude. Like, this show keeps on getting crazier and crazier.
I feel like that's how you describe every episode, but it's like you almost can't use any other way or like any other thing to describe it.
I know.
It's like this episode was wild, and the next episode it's like, yo, this shit was wild. It's like it
Hype,
just
wild, crazy,
stays like that on that level.
There's only a set number of adjectives. Yeah, it's like
thesaurus.
Yeah, for real. Like, let me crack that out, right? But seriously, it was wild. It really was. I literally can't think of another word. But like the bar just for me just keeps on getting raised every single episode with how crazy this show gets. And now we have stand abilities. Like, yeah. I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck is going on? Crazy. A lot to jump into today. But anyway, we start the episode again with some crazy behind the scenes madness going on. We thought we couldn't top, like, dude flattens an island with his hand. Episode 1. Episode 2, storms the Pentagon. Episode 3, fuck it, there's a cult now as well.
And I feel like, to be fair, we haven't really topped dude stomps a whole island out with his bare hand.
That is
like
fair.
That was kind of pretty high on the bar.
That is a high bar. That is a high bar.
That was the high bar. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, it's still nutty. Like,
it's dope shit.
You don't know what's happening behind the scenes, especially for us being that we're brand new viewers of this show. Yeah. So we're just left to wonder, the fuck? That's really all we can say, right?
Yeah.
So beginning of the episode, this religious group gets together, which could only be surmised as like a cult of some sort.
Yeah.
And they're like, God is with us. All right, like God is with us. And it's like, okay. And then we, kick off the OP. And then from there we get into our first fight, which is Mira versus it's Ma, I believe, M-A-H, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Ma. Bubblegum bitch.
Yeah, bubblegum bitch.
Or how about the wild Amazon?
Yeah,
as a name that's not so terrible.
Yeah. What do you mean? It's a good bitch, not a bad bitch. She's a bad bitch, dude. What do you want? I don't know.
I like Isaiah's name. No, the wild Amazon. Is that what we're calling it? Yeah, wild Amazon versus Mira. And I'm not gonna lie, it was funny. First of all, it was some funny shit right off the bat. But one thing that I will say I was a little upset about was how easily she was dismantled at the end there. I don't know if you all agree.
I have
with
a feeling, and I have absolutely no shred of proof to back this off of, but like that we're gonna have like some sort of like losers bracket where all the people who lost in their first rounds are going to get like a second chance to like get back in the tournament. Okay. Because I feel like with the Amazon wrestling lady and the guy that Han fights, like those characters are so unique that it would just feel like such a waste to literally throw them in one match. And like I get it because I kind of like that in a sense because it lets you gauge where Mira and Han are at as far as their fighting powers. Like they're capable of taking on more than just regular fodder fighters.
Exactly.
So that it's cool in that sense, but amongst all the other fodder that there is in this tournament, like those characters clearly are like so unique and different and like aren't supposed to stand out. So I would love it personally if there was like some sort of like losers bracket or whatever where it's like, all right, everybody gets a second chance or whatever, but that's just a guess.
Yeah. By the way, her name is Ma Misan. So I'm just gonna call her Ma. Ma, M-A-H. But anyway, so right before that though, one thing I neglected to go over real quick was that we get a glimpse into what Jin Mori is being, like where he's being held and detained, and they're going over the fact that Gamdu he's out, and Kang, who I was calling Gang all last episode, by the way, sorry about that, it's Kang. I'm just going back to Straight Jacket. He's He's out. He's out too because
in more ways than one.
Yeah, I would wager to say he was the real loser in that fight next to Cam Duke. But yeah, he mentally is just fried. But anyway, so then they realize the head commissioner and director, I guess, of the tournament realizes that Jin is the grandson of the famous Mori or whatever. So he's like, okay, like what do we got here? So I think
and then Jin Taijin was his grandpa.
I like hand that back. You're like Jin is the great of Mori, and it's the other way around. It's Mori is a descendant of Jin. Like Jin is his last name. You had it backwards. I just know somebody's gonna be like, it's the other way.
No. Thank you for correcting me, dude. I always fuck that up. It throws me off so bad because they reverse it, and Jin to me sounds like such a first name. Like, you know what I mean? It's just yo, Jin. Like, I don't know. Like,
that's
I
what
always just refer to him as
Jin.
Jin.
Taijin is the grandfather, but Jin is his last. Like, Taijin, that's his,
Taijin is his first name.
Yeah.
Jin
So
we need to get into the habit of trying to call him Mori.
He's calling him Mori.
Jin Mori's on his application sheet or whatever, on his student thing, and that's when he's like, oh, Jin Taijin, like that, he must, and so he draws that line.
Anyway, Mori I'll try and call him. But anyway, then we get into the fight, and like I said, like you were saying before, it would be a shame to see that these cool character designs and fighters aren't utilized down the road. That'd be very upsetting. One thing I do know from, people that have been commenting and webtoon readers is that kind of like Tower of God, the show has been cramming a bunch in to each of its episode to try and fit it. Yeah, so like, you know what I mean? Like they might need to move the envelope pretty quickly because this show is going to turn, in my opinion, or my prediction rather is that this show is going to turn into something way past like just hand-to-hand combat very quickly. Yeah, very quickly. We've already gotten like a taste of what that is, and I've seen cover art where Jin's got like a halo around his head and some wild shit, or Mori.
Got personas and shit.
Yeah. So now, so like, maybe those characters do become irrelevant pretty quickly, and maybe in the webtoon you get more time to flesh those out. I can only assume.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because it sucks because the fight between them was really sweet. It was really cool to see how Ma was so agile, quick, and just jacked. First of all, like she was so big but able to move so gracefully.
And it's like, I guess in my interpretation, when she's like, "Oh, I'm like I'm a pro wrestler," like that's how I've trained my body to like to fight that way. I was expecting more like just straight like brawling, like very like brutal, close like wrestling. You know what I mean? But like, she's pretty quick. Like she moves really quick, and like she's fast for like I mean it's anime, so like everybody's moving at fucking whatever. Yeah. But like I was taken aback by just how much of like a mix, I guess, of fighting like that she uses for a wrestler.
No, it is literally pro wrestling. Like, because what I initially thought was okay. Well, I kind of got the vibe that she was that from when we saw quick snips of her fighting earlier. But I was like, okay, pro wrestling. Like, are they really going to go into like the WWE thing, or is it going to be like legitimate, wrestling, like Olympic style? No, it was like straight up WWE, which that is WWE. And to be fair, I mean, although it's fake, sorry to burst some people's bubbles out there. Those people, I know, crazy. Santa Claus also isn't real. You need to hear it.
Wait, relax, Ian.
Anyway, fuck, where was I going with that? No, one thing that is to be said that is definitely true is the fact that the professional wrestlers put their bodies through absolute hell, and that is real, right? Even though they are not really destroying each other like trying to, they are effectively doing it, by jumping off these things, like onto tables, doing these flips, all this kind of shit. Like it is a lot.
You still need to be strong. Like it ain't no bitch thing.
You need to be incredibly athletic still to be able to become a professional wrestler. So obviously in anime, she's gonna do it with absolutely no problem because this chick was at least pushing like 200 pounds of straight muscle. She was huge, and she's just flipping around like Rey Mysterio off the fucking top rope, like flinging her fucking feet around Mira's head and shit. And it was funny hearing them go like banter a little bit at first because she's like, that wooden sword isn't gonna work on me, right? So that was funny. Number one, we realized that the wooden sword was clearly just for show. And then also her motivations for coming into the tournament, we're like, okay, if someone needs to lose, it's her, right? Because we have to make her be as vain as possible and shallow as possible. She's like, I'm just going to form a harem of all these attractive men that'll just do whatever I want. And that was just fucking hilarious because Mira's like, what? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, like the girl's got goals, And I think she has the ability to do it.
I mean, she apparently does have an ability to do it.
Because I don't know if that flashback was a legitimate scene, but those were all commissioners, by the way, that she just had to
like
fucking,
2/3 of those dudes. I was my first thought. I'm like, don't those niggas work here?
Yeah, and aren't they stronger than you? But apparently she's got charm as well as Anyway, so then they fight, and she eventually rips the weapon out of Mira's hand, and it's like, what are you gonna do now? And then we realize that Mira's weapon was really just for show, because then she's like, my hands are also blades, and
my
I can
girl's
shoot
literal
them.
hands are swords. She just doesn't need weapons.
Nope,
Apparently.
not at all.
And at first I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a knockout thing, right? Like she'll like swoosh the hand and it'll like blow a punch. It's like, no, she was straight cutting her, bro.
No,
Her
she
hands
just
were literal
she
swords.
straight up sliced her tit in half on the fucking first one. That was fucking
Fuck,
wild.
dude.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. But it was funny too seeing the audience, because Mira has her fan base, and all the other people are cheering for Ma because they don't know Mira, I guess, like that, and they're all just like. Because like they want to kind of cheer, but they're like, Mira's our girl.
That was dope, but
But yeah, then so she slices her and then goes for like a final attack, and Ma goes to defend herself, but it's just too much to
just don't work.
withstand.
It don't work.
And that's where, unfortunately, I kind of was a little upset, because I would have liked to see that play a little more, because she was like, my body is like indestructible. I've gone through, and it's like, really, you went down from like 2 slices.
It's one of those things though, like with this show, where it's like, we were even saying it, like, like what's gonna, because like this episode was clearly more about Jin's fight with this commissioner dude and all the event. Because again, like in the essence of like, we are, with the anime, we're moving much faster than the webtoon. Like we have to get from, point A to point B. It's like, they have to get there, right? It's like even Han's fight, as dope as it was, and like those are just to give you what it is, which is a little bit of a taste of Mira and Han's fight. It's like, we have to get though to this point, because this is where story's
exactly. And I would like to think that in the webtoon they flesh that fight out a little more. I could be wrong. Somebody could clarify that.
Maybe even if it's just like
it would
dialogue.
really surprise me if they didn't go a little further into that, or like maybe display Mira's skills a little more, because in displaying her skills, it displays how formidable Ma is as an opponent. Because it makes it seem like a lot of these opponents, unfortunately, are like glass cannons, right? Where it's like they do their thing, and then they get fucked up, and that's it. Which I'm assuming isn't the case. It's just due to time constraints, I would have to say. But then from there we go back to Mori, and the director basically says, if you could beat this commissioner here, you're back in the tournament.
Yep.
Right, because now he wants to put him in the test, and Mori pitches a fit because he wants to fight the blonde guy, because the blonde guy beat his ass the first time. So he's like, well, then the guy gets his ego bruised a little, and he's like, first of all, I'm stronger than him. And Mori didn't skip a beat. He's like, all right, take off your glasses, let's go. That's all I need to hear, right? And he's like, then he punches him or whatever, and then the director's like, hey, chill out a minute, we're gonna do this tomorrow, okay? Because I have a plan here, and I have hidden peach fruit that makes you throw up blood, so I need to test that first. So basically,
he's hit A, B, and C.
Yeah, he's like, fucking relax. So then we get back to he gives him the fruit. There's a flashback. Because Mori meets them on that bridge that they seem to be walking across. That's their way home, I guess. And that was a fucking hilarious scene where he just comes up behind him. And he's
eating
like,
the banana.
You know what I mean?
And good thing in hindsight that none of them actually took up his offer on eating some of that fruit, because they would not have lived to see the next day if they did, dude.
Yo, for real.
Shit.
Because he was offering that shit out like hotcakes.
Yeah, they're just like, no, I'm good. Like, who eats fruit? Like, no, thank you. But like, keep in mind, if they took a bite of that banana, dude, they'd be iced. Oh my god.
Or the peach. I don't know if it was like
I think it actually
one
might
of
have
them,
just been,
and he was like, okay, if you put it in all,
I think it might have just been that
in the peach. Yeah, he's like,
peach.
he's gonna
Yeah,
get that
could've been.
eventually.
Yeah,
He's
right.
like, eat all the fruit.
He's like,
especially
thanks,
the
I'll eat
peach.
some of the fruit. No, not some. Eat that whole bag.
Here's this bag. Keep in mind, you need to eat it all by tomorrow morning at exactly 5 a.m. And if you don't, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
And keep in mind, peaches give you the most energy. More
Bananas
so
will
than
get like
bananas.
2 SP. Peaches though, you get like 10.
And he's like,
Just
really?
saying.
Just pukes blood. So, he eats the fruit and then pukes blood. So obviously that's some stimulant to make you just fucking incredibly powerful. And it's like the whole, if you could withstand it, you'll become more powerful than you ever were. But if not, you die. So, and
Trial by fire.
yeah, exactly. And Mori's got that, fucking protagonist blood in him. So he's going to survive and, whatever. So we also get in a little bit more of a light shed on Han's motivations and his story, right? So he visits his buddy in the hospital, whose name evades me, who is presumably, I don't know if he's going to die, but it looks pretty grim for him. But they're testing medicines, and it's implied that like everyone is taking extra jobs and doing everything they can to keep on supplementing his treatment costs. And that's really the reason, which is stated before, but why Han needs to win this tournament, because he's really interested in the technology that's able to heal wounds. Yep. And obviously, they're
Wants
like,
to
you
use
can
it
be
to
God.
save his-
So yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's his motivation, and you see Han at his other job where he's presumably like a janitor or something for an office building beyond.
I can't think of the name, but it's an actual studio where it's a building that has computers in it, and what do they call it? It literally is, you go in there, they have like gaming desktop set up, and you just go in and you can play. It's like a gaming bar sort of deal. Because that's what I noticed in the background. It was like all these people playing. Yeah, I forget what it's called, but like literally it's like a place that you can go for like LAN parties and stuff like that.
Oh,
and,
shit.
like, just play games.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
we gotta go to ones.
it's popular in other states. We don't have any here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I have seen them before, and that's what it looked like he was working at, and he was like changing the trash. Or
okay, gotcha. So he was there in addition to his convenience store job as well,
Clear,
right? So like it's implied that he's really putting in the work here to try and get the money in the meantime. And of course, as in every anime, we have to have like a group of 3 douchebags come up and just make fun of a dying person because that's what they do and they think it's hilarious.
Nothing
and it's
better else to do.
Jeez Louise, man.
I need you guys in 5 seconds to know without a shred of doubt that these guys are dicks.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a great way to introduce them.
Fuck.
So they come in, start fucking with Han, like kicking a fucking soda can at him.
Imagine meeting somebody, right? And in 5 seconds and being like, yo, fuck this dead nigga, am I right? It's like, what the fuck?
Dude?
Like, how do you just go there? You didn't even say hi. Shit.
For real. Yeah, it's
Oh
just
my
wild,
God.
dude. Some people just have no chill and like it's fucking crazy. So Han though, and this is why I'm starting to really like Han a lot more as a character. Instead of just obliterating them as he could, clearly he knows how to control his emotions, and he says, thanks for coming by or whatever. If you need anything, let me know. Something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
Some like customer
It's funny
service
that
shit.
I've been making comparisons to him and Superman, but that scene was like straight out of the new Superman movie, Man of Steel, where like he gets in a fight with like these guys at a bar, and they're like, oh, fuck it, like literally the same thing. They're like, oh, we'll fight back, whatever, and like this is Superman, right?
Yeah,
You can easily crush their skulls, but he's like, hey guys, like, sorry, I'll get out the way, and just walks out. It's like, he could kill all 3 of those niggas without even blinking, bro.
There was part of me that was thinking that Han just didn't want to destroy the building, and so doing
It could be that too. Yeah, he works
job.
there, He's like, fuck, I don't want to be out of a job.
No, but that's why I really like his character, because he is able to have a level head and he's able to realize that this isn't worth it. Even though I could easily dismantle these fools. Like there's more important things at play
bigger picture,
here. Yeah, there's a bigger picture, and these people just don't even fit into it. So it's not even worth my breath or my energy to try and pursue it. So yeah, he's just awesome. And then we get into his fight, and he fights the gentleman with the bat again.
Kakashi with the bat.
Yeah, we're calling him
That's his
Kakashi
name.
with the bat. Okay,
with the bat.
his name evades me. Full disclosure: we record these like immediately after watching the episode, so it's not like we're going into an extensive research of names. We're watching it and reacting, and then immediately jumping in, so our mind is fresh off the actual contents of the
Which
episode.
means it's not fresh off of names.
And I don't care if I
Exactly.
know his name or not, or how
That's-
easy it is. He's Kakashi with the
so
bat.
if you're new to the show, we nickname essentially everyone who isn't the main character because, like, you know what I mean?
They're
Like,
gone in the next episode anyway.
because
Yeah, it's
whatever.
Tower of God. It's Bam, Coon, and Rack. Everybody else is subject to change.
Exactly. God High School, Mira,
Mori,
Han.
You're Han
I was
Mori.
about to call him Jin again. That's why. And I'm like, no, don't call him Jin. But I'm like,
I
fuck,
can
what's
see
his
it
name?
in your eyes. You're like, don't do it.
Yeah, so anyway, this is Kakashi with a bat. So, he's fighting Kakashi with a bat. And again, really awesome character design. And this one was sad to see, along with Ma as well, because it was like, we'd like to see them. And again, not to sound like a broken record, but I hope you're right in that there is some sort of like bracket, losers bracket or whatever. They don't jump too far ahead too quickly, because it would be nice to see those characters fleshed out a little.
Exactly.
And not just in such a one-sided fight, right? Well, because to be fair, these fights are not necessarily one-sided. Like, they're getting their digs in at first, but you know they're going to lose, right? For the progression of the plot. It would be nice to see them versus another character.
Yeah.
Like,
Or I have
for
a feeling
instance, her
even if
versus-
it's not a
versus-
losers bracket, like they'll come back.
That would be
again.
nice to see them where it's like it's an actual fight, like a fight where it's even, but you don't know who's going to win for plot purposes, right? Because then it's
like
then
I feel
it's
like
down
once
to,
shit hits the fan and like all these commissioners start whipping out personas and shit left and right, like they're gonna all come out and like use their full power or whatever, and like get their Zenkai boost and
that was
it'll be
cool.
dope.
So it was awesome to see their displays of power between Ma and Kakashi with a bat, as they were fighting, and the fucking, Kakashi with a bat fucking is beating Han's ass at first.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you realize that this bat is just more than a bat. Like, he could stab, it could just like, it does everything, dude. It's like fucking crazy. And obviously it's cool, right? Because you're wondering, like, what book is he reading this whole time? And it's just a list of everyone's fighting style and exactly how to counter
It's the
it.
Google Doc on every martial art and karate move ever. Because apparently he's like, I've already studied and memorized every karate like form known to man.
There's
And it's
always
like,
one of them in a show.
Really?
who
All
knows,
that's
like, I
written
know
in that
everything.
small book?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a smartphone probably would have been easier because the writing has to be like
but if he can't get service,
true. You're right. You're right.
That's good thought, actually. Okay,
good looks. Anyway, so they're fighting, and he's putting the hurting on Han at first, and the reason being is because Han, even though if he lands like a singular punch on you, you die. He has to land said punch. So the point is that Kakashi with the bat is able to fucking dodge every single attack that he's throwing because he's memorized his fighting style. But then what happens is we realize Han is more than just what he's learned. He's like his own, like he's able to have this extraordinary talent of being able to memorize his moveset without reading a book in a fraction of the time, right? Yeah. So he's able to kind of counterbalance that. So then we have our kind of like our awakening from the Kakashi with the bat, who goes like all out. He's like, I'm gonna use these techniques.
We gotta find a different name soon because now I'm just picturing Kakashi.
Yeah, sorry, it's a mouthful. All right, I'm calling him Bat Guy. So Bat Guy fucking is
now
like
I'm just picturing Batman.
Fuck off! Like, give me a fucking name, okay? Babe Ruth. You want me to call him Babe Ruth?
Babe Ruth.
Like, is that it?
Bat Guy works. Bat Guy works.
All right, so fucking Babe. Fuck, now I'm calling him Babe Ruth.
Kakashi with the bat.
No, Batman. So,
Fuck.
No, all right.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth with the glasses? Can we call him that?
I think this is where it comes in handy to actually learn their name.
Actually know their name. What are you doing over there, Gavin? You got a list up? Somebody get on this list, okay?
I'll pull it up on the screen so we can have it.
That's fair. Somebody fucking get on this list while I keep talking, because I'm just gonna keep calling him Babe Ruth at this point. So fucking Babe Ruth.
Oh, God of High School.
Yeah.
What anime are we talking about here?
What are we doing?
What's the name? Tower of
Yeah. So anyway, he's laying the hurt again. He does his like fucking 72 stab move. And this is right before actually, again, where we get a little more insight into Han's character, where they're gonna go at it again, and the guy with the bat slips and almost eats it. And in so slipping, actually whacks Han in the fucking head with the bat. But instead of Han just laying the hurt on him, someone like Kang would.
I don't know, but I don't think he intentionally hit him in the head. I think Han got hit in the head because he went to go reach.
No. That's I'm sorry if I worded that wrong. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he I worded that wrong. My bad. Yeah. So when he's falling, and Han goes to help him, it results in him getting hit in the head with the bat. And again, it just shows this character and how humble he is. And it's just like, you can't help but like him. And it's like, for me, when I saw that, it's like, dude, he's got to win now. Like, he's got to
code, bro.
Yeah,
he's literally fucking Jin Sakai from he's got that honorable,
awesome. Yeah. So he's like, that would be a cowardly move to just beat your ass when you slipped, and it was like, damn, bro. And then for a second, you're like, you're going to regret that, huh? Because then he gets up and starts laying the hurt
guy
again.
The bat takes no time to be like, capitalize on that and be like, oh, bet? All right.
Yeah. It's just fucking, he's like, I ruptured your organs, by the way. Thank you for helping me up. And it's like, they're fucking, he's dying over there. So then Han has his like Zenkai boost, as you would say, right?
Yes.
And basically, kind of go, he goes all out and he does his like stance move now, where it's like he's naming the black tortoise, fucking white tiger, whatever. And he uses this series of moves not to immediately dismantle him, but to, take him off balance and then like batter his defenses. And then
there's like a pattern to the strike.
Exactly.
Like one breaks his defense, the second knocks him off balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then by the end of it, he was able to, hit him so many times. And this part was fucking hysterical because he just fucking whacks him right in the fucking nuts at one point. We're like, oh my Lord. And then the guy just goes, and just smiles, and we're like, dude, he liked it. What the fuck is happening? It was fucking wild. He just keeps on blasting him, and the guy, like, it looked like he was just able to withstand all that. It was fucking incredible.
And like, dude, the animation in that like exchange when they're going blow to blow, because like Han has that when he does like his first strike, when he like throws at him, and you're like, oh, he's dead, he's done, and then they just start like going at it, and you're like, oh, he blocked it. And
how about when he hit the bat and blew up the bat itself, and you're like, what the fuck? That was sick. Just how it like rippled off, and then that animation of them going toe to toe was fucking incredible, dude. The animation in the show is like,
it perfectly captures that like kinetic, like fucking, moment to moment.
So good. There's like dust flying off people and shit in every shot. It was really fucking cool.
You're not gonna find. Is that his name?
Oh, did you get him?
There it is.
Chul.
Chul.
Sing Chul.
You see what I had to search to get this fucking guy? Yeah, got a high school bat guy.
I saw you go. I saw you
going
through
him
it,
anywhere.
and I'm like, damn, bro. By the time he gets his name, we're gonna be done with this episode.
Chul.
Because look, it doesn't look. Actually, the internet's trash. So.
It's a shame we're like at the end of the fight.
Yeah. We're like, that's his name, Chul. All right. So anyway, Chul's dead.
Chul's there. So anyway, so Chul and Han, I have to say Chul as many times as possible now to make up for calling him Kakashi with a bat.
For calling him every other name under the
calling him
book.
every other name besides his real name. So Chul and him, they go at it, and like just trading strikes was the coolest fucking thing to see. And then, eventually knocks him into the rope, and Chul keeps smiling. And you're like, dude, did he withstand all that? But then you realize that it's really just, he's got a really good fucking poker face, apparently. Because he gets up and it just fucking drops next to Han. And, the fight's over. And they're like, Han definitely got fucked up from that. So we're going to need a breather here, to recover from this fight, which was pretty insane. So then, after that fight, which was just absolutely bonkers, that was probably the best fight of this episode, I would say.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it was
That
meant to be. Like, that's how it was laid out. Yeah.
Yeah, that was incredible. So then that fight's done, and we go back, and Mori is still fucking on the floor, presumably dead at this point, but he's not.
Catching disease.
Yeah, catching the disease. And then we go back, and the commissioner's waiting in the ring because they're like, okay, it's at this time. And he's there, and they're like, where the fuck is Jin Mori here? He's not coming. Everyone doesn't realize that he ate poison fruit. So, and then, because the show needs to go on, he fucking runs into the stadium at the last second here, and you're like, all right, here we go. So we were at this point, we're like, okay, is he just going to immediately whoop the commissioner's ass? Is it going to be like a fight now? Is it whatever? Because they give a handicap where all Jin has to do to win is knock him over. That's it, right? Yeah. Simple as that. So then the fight starts, and within the first second, Mori is up in his face, takes his glasses off, and just fucking pushes him over like immediately. And all of us are like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
dude,
what?
If they ended the fight there because the ref was like, and that's it, that's the match. And I was like, bro, if they end it right here, I'm going to fucking beat someone's ass. And then obviously, like, that other administrator guy got, like, super heated. And he's like, no, like, hold my fucking beer.
He was about as salty as everybody in the audience because he was like,
sure.
fuck, I'm not taking this L line down.
And fuck, man, if that guy isn't just salty that he can't show people his card tricks, am I right? Like, in the fucking episode before that, he's about to whip a card and fucking Mori jumped on his head and stole the spotlight.
That's true. Yeah, he's got personal beef with Mori.
I have really cool card throwing skills.
He's like, damn it, Mori, that's strike two.
Yeah, now I couldn't even throw my cards.
Now I'm whipping out my persona.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would have liked to see his card throwing skills. That's just
true.
me.
Yeah.
But whatever, because it's irrelevant. So he fucking gets knocked over. His ego gets bruised. And he's like, okay, fuck this noise. Like, I'm going all out. So then he uses his, he unleashes the power that they have in the show. Again, name evades me. It starts with a C. It's a long name. Shoot me. So fucking he goes all out, and then we're like literally summons a stand, like, or persona, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure level shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, Isaiah and I specifically looked at each other, being that we've seen those shows, and we're like, bro, like, what? Like, they got stands in this fucking show now? It was crazy. So that shit fucking pops out. It's like the Grim Reaper, and then just starts attacking Jin.
I just love Mori has this moment where he's like, what the actual fuck is even happening right now?
And we're like, Mori, we're right there with you. Like, we have no clue.
Just keep running, man.
Yeah, because you thought the fruit was going to do something, but it was like, no, that's just to survive. So Mori, all he can do is just dodge these attacks because he's fighting a giant with a scythe that's probably undead.
And it's funny because when we were watching the episode, I thought the fruit, like, I was like, oh, the fruit, like, enhanced his ability or something to make it so that he could get up on the guy real quick and knock him down. But now I'm, like, almost wondering if it's, like, a Hunter x Hunter thing where he literally just played to the rules. And he's like, oh, all I got to do is literally knock this guy down, and just pushed him down because he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
That would be, like, kind of actually hilarious if, like, he literally just did that. You know what I mean? If that had nothing to do with the fruit. Like, the fruit could still play a role because he makes a comment about it.
Sure.
But, like, if that moment was literally nothing more than him being like, oh, okay. Because that's totally, Mori is that simple of a guy. He's literally like family ethic codes. It's like, just do what you want. You know what I mean? Like,
dude,
this would be the guy who's like, oh, I just got to knock. Okay. Like, I
want to get back to that actually for a second. I totally glossed over that when they're on the bridge, and he's like, my family has a saying, and you think it's going to go, and it says something along the lines of like, do what you want. And it was like, wow, dude, this guy, like, how can you not love this guy at this point? He's so great. He's so simple. It's fucking hysterical. He really is like gone from Hunter x Hunter. But anyway, so yeah, he fights the fucking undead thing with a scythe.
I don't even know if fight. He just runs away.
I
evades. Like,
and eventually he's like, okay, maybe I'll try and run up and hit it. I don't know, and does not succeed because the thing just grabs him. Yeah, and it's going to kill him because it's swinging the scythe down, and then it stops, and you're like, okay, did the guy change a heart? No, there's like 3 other people holding the guy back.
The rest of his entire employee squad is all on him. Like, no.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. So then the So then Park comes out, the head director, and is basically like, you won, Mori, good job. And then he looks at the other guy and he's like, docked pay 3 months. And the guy's like, fuck, 3 months, dude? Like, come on.
I just got my ass beaten. Now I'm not making money.
Like, dude, what? So he's like, you know why. And he just looks at him or whatever. And then he's like, yeah, Mori, you won. That's it, dude. And then that's it. And so one thing I wonder at the end of this episode is, and again, I might be drawing too many parallels to JoJo, but I'm wondering if people can see the ability. I don't know what they call it yet. The ability. Oh, you think
maybe that's the other thing? Maybe the fruit gave him the ability to see it where others couldn't,
and use it. Yeah, because that's very similar vibes to JoJo in that there's the ancient arrow, and if you get stabbed with the arrow, you either die brutally, or you obtain a stand ability, and people can't see stands unless they can have a stand. Right. And like the show progresses where it's like if you don't have a stand, you can't fight one because it's like they're too powerful. You can't. It transcends human limits.
That's interesting.
So I'm wondering if it's a similar vibe where it's like you eat the fruit.
Or if Park is gonna do a thing where he's just gonna try and like Men in Black Jin, and he's like, all right, now forget, like, you didn't see anything there, okay? You won the fight, and that's when it ended, and it's like, but what about that monster Reaper nigga that almost killed me? And it's like, no, that didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about, like.
No, I'm just wondering if the audience was able to see it, you know what I mean? I don't know. It seemed like it would be pretty hard not to. I don't know, because they didn't really show it, and it would. I have a feeling they can. That's just my prediction. But like, I feel like these people just don't really give a shit at this point. They're in the audience and they're like, we just want to see fights. I could care less if you just summon Satan.
Yeah. I think the second like a man can blow apart like a bat with his bat, it's like, whatever. I'm just going to watch this for fun.
I pay good money for this. So if this guy's summoning Cthulhu,
or that,
I'm
it's
down
like,
for
dude,
it.
if God drops out that ceiling, I'm sitting right in the seat. You know how much I paid to be here?
These are the best seats in the house, damn it. So that's the episode. Again, we're just taking the bar and raising it each and every fucking time. So being that there are, I believe, 13 episodes in this, and I'm assuming shit picks up pretty quick. Like I have a feeling this is just going to get wild, like right off the bat. Definitely. Which I'm glad about, but I'm also sad about in a sense because I know I've said it before, but there's something I really appreciate about the hand-to-hand combat style where it's like, using each other's different, like comparing different fighting styles and like really showing their stuff, and like it provides for some really cool animation. It was like, and it'd be a shame to see it power spike too quickly because it's but I feel like a lot of characters are already getting eliminated that are on the hand-to-hand combat level.
And to be honest,
we've already got there.
Like the show obviously like it has martial arts and it uses that heavily, but like even from literally episode 1, we did establish that like this is not a world that is above blowing niggas out the window with superpowers if need be, and like, you know what I mean, in the lieu of like, all right, we have 13 episodes to get from A to B. It's like that's where we were, Yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of questions raised though. I feel like some get answered and 5 get raised in this show, and we're just totally along for the ride, and hopefully you guys are too. But I mean, unless there was anything else you guys wanted to bring up.
I have a quick one. I wonder what Mori, obviously his grandfather or dad or whatever, has some relationship with the administrators and the directors because they obviously named him and was like, he is the tiger cub of, this descendant or whatever. So I wonder what impact like Mori's ancestry had on the director in terms of like, was he just a thorn in their ass? Like, was he trying to stop them? And like, what was his role? And not to mention, the director also said that he's not going to let Mori like break out of his restraints and get away. So I wonder if that was something where maybe his grandfather, father, whatever, was a part of their organization and did break away, for whatever reason. Like, I wonder what that whole like relationship,
that whole point.
I
mean, and why Mori wouldn't know about him, because if his father, whoever, had such an impact on these people in a negative way, like how would he not know of their existence and shit like that?
I mean, that's why he gave him the fruit, right? It's like he was like, all right, clearly there's something with this kid. Like, let me test him. I'm assuming that his grandfather at one point also ate the fruit and like was able to take it.
Maybe.
So that's why he was like,
I don't know. It's curious, but I hope they flesh that out and don't like gloss over it and just like, here's
I'm sure they will, because that feels like pretty like major plot stuff.
Yeah,
you'd hope.
Yeah, for sure. My prediction is that the grandfather hid that sort of stuff from Mori, whether it be in hopes that Mori like walked a different path or that he just didn't like he wouldn't understand as a child or get involved or like that's my feeling, that he didn't say it, hence why Mori doesn't know. And I also feel that either he was like a thorn in their side where it was like he was fighting them, or there was a point where he was a part of the organization, or they offered him that temptation of power and he was like, nah. And now Park is trying to get Mori quick, like right off the bat, and be like, take this fruit. Look, I just gave you all this power. You're going to work for me now. Like, I need, you know, whatever. Yeah, get them while they're young. Seriously, brainwash them quick. But I mean, that's my prediction. Who knows if I'm right? We're going off nothing. So, but that's the fun in it, right? So, anyway, that's all we have to say for today's episode. We had a blast talking about this. We sure as shit had a blast watching it. I hope you guys did too, and I hope you guys did enjoy the conversation today. As always, if you enjoy the content, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment your thoughts down below on this episode. What did you think? What did you think about our discussion? Did we miss anything? Is there anything that really had a profound impact on you? Let us know all of your thoughts. But until next time, folks, thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Later.
Peace.
Hey folks, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our new episodes.
You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at AoA Podcast if you want to keep up with our content or suggest new ideas for the show.
You can watch us on YouTube or listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, or more. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week to talk about all things anime.